All right, it's been about a week since I sourced this item. If you did not see the video where I found this in the crawl space, I'm gonna link to it at the end of this video. We have got to clean it up a bit before I list it on eBay. So let me show you what I'm talking about and how we could easily clean up the cosmetic issues with this piece. All right, everyone, so we're gonna take this Millennium Falcon Spaceship right out of the box. Now, if you didn't see the video where I sourced this, it was found in the back of a crawl space where it had been for decades, and it wasn't until the family came and cleared the crawl space out that anyone was even able to go back there to find this. So it was in this box, but the box was a little bit open and facing out in the front of the box here, as you'll see, because it was open, it was exposed to the air and it wound up getting some dirt on it and stuff, and wound up getting discolored. But the parts that were kept away more from the air, those wound up being in much better shape. So like you could see here that the back of it looks pretty good, and the bottom of it is really nice. There's really nothing significant there at all. The problem is the front. The front here, as you can see, has all sorts of discoloration. It looks pretty nasty. So that definitely needs to be cleaned off before I could sell this. But the reason I'm making this video is that a lot of times people will find a toy like this out in a garage sale or maybe in a basement at an estate sale, and they'll actually pass it up because of the appearance. And you've got to be able to see past this and what it will look like once it's cleaned. And you could do little tests while you're there to see if this is something that will wipe off. I showed this in the video. If you happen to have some water with you, you could dab it on your shirt and just wipe a little area, and you'll see it'll wipe right off. Or, if your hands are clean, you could just lick a little spot on your finger and you could just rub it and you'll see that it'll come off as well. And I show that in that video. So what we've got to do now is we've got to do some intensive cleaning on this just to get all this to come off. So all I have for this is just a little rag, and if you don't have a rag that you'd use, you could just use a bunch of paper towels. And just got a little bucket here with some soap and water, and I'm just gonna, just put this in here and just wring it out. And then right next to it, I have another one of these rags, and that's just gonna be used to dry it off. So I'm just gonna tilt the camera down here for a second to show you what I'm gonna do. It's pretty basic. I'll just show you kind of how I started off, and then I'll turn the camera on once it's all cleaned up. But I guess before I clean it just one more time, I'll give you just another look of just how filthy this is right here. We'll get a look on that side as well. We'll get a look on this side as well. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos with cleaning the toys. So for people who are new to the channel, I wanted to show you this. And again, the back is pretty good, and this side is decent. There's just a few kind of minor areas on the back. So basically what I'm gonna do, we'll start with just this little strip area, maybe right over here, and I'll just turn that down so you can see. And so it's really just a simple matter of just taking the cloth and just going like this and just rubbing it off. It's that simple. It's really, really easy. It just comes right off, just mild soap and water. So something that just looked so gross is gonna turn out to be something that looked so nice. And the people who wind up getting it, when they look at it, they're never gonna know that it had looked like this, at any point. And so, you just work your way around kind of systematically and get into all those little nooks and crannies. As many of you know, that's one of my favorite things to say, so I try to find any excuse to say nooks and crannies in my videos. I love English muffins, so that's one of the reasons I like to just toss that out there every now and then. But so I'm just gonna keep going along, and you could just take some broad strokes like this and just keep cleaning, keep going in like that, and just keep rubbing. Even areas that are in these little lines right here, what you want to do if you want to just get those out, just bunch up the rag like this and just press it and just slide it up and down like that, and you see that comes right out. And really, it's just a matter of being, like I said, just being systematic with it. There are some stickers here, so I'm going to try to be careful around those and, not cause, much damage to those, hopefully any damage. There's one little piece here that already flaked off, but that looked like that was just going to flake off anyway, I guess. So I'm just going to put that to the side and, just kind of keep going around with it. And, I'll show you later what the final version of this looks like once I have it all clean. I will go around the back of it and just spot clean, little areas here and there. Like you can see right here, we've got a little bit. So, again, just go all the way around. And you can see here, this is not going to be something that takes a ton of time. We're just going to keep going around and, just make sure all the little brown areas are taken off, and just once in a while just kind of wring this rag out and then come back to it. So I'm gonna keep working on this, and I'll show you later what it looks like. It'll probably be dark because I'm gonna take a break here for a little bit, watch a movie with my son. We're gonna watch some Indiana Jones, and then after that I'll come back to this and touch it up and show you the final version of it. Okay, now I was working on this a little bit more because my son has told me wait a little bit more time before we watch the movie. So I started working on this a little bit, and one of the things that I did is I took the top of the ship off. So you want to look inside as well. And as you can see, inside it also, let me take this out so this doesn't fall as I'm telling you this. There's all sorts of dirty areas inside as well. So all that is going to need to be cleaned out as well. It's the same process though. You're just taking the rag and you're just going inside and you're just wiping it down, and like take a little spot right here, and you can see that's just gonna, right there, just kind of clean that out. So we're gonna do that as well. So I'll show you the inside and the outside when all of this is finished. Okay, so for the Star Wars fans out there, I wanted to show you something cool that I did not know was there when I purchased this. But when I open up this part right here, we could see that Han Solo himself is piloting the ship. And that's pretty cool because originally this did not come with the Millennium Falcon. And so this is a nice extra to have that I will sell along with the ship, and hopefully that will add a little value to it as well. So just a cool little find as I'm going through this. Make sure, it's another good tip, if you have these types of toys that open up, don't just clean the surface and not look underneath. Look inside, open up all the little pockets and caverns to see if you could find any little hidden treats like this that will add value to the piece. And I don't know how well you could see this, but the date is on the leg there. This is the original 1977 Han Solo piece. A couple more things I want to show you just about the inside if you've never seen this toy before. Some cool things about it. It has this little area here that spins around. Like you could put an action figure here and it'll turn, it'll make like a clicking noise like this. So that's kind of cool. Like you could put like Luke Skywalker in there or whatever, play with it. It's got a hidden floor here. Actually, that little part that came out right there, that's like a little escape hatch. So the action figures, when you play with it, they could get out from underneath the spaceship when like Darth Vader's chasing them or something like that. Then right here, there's a hidden floor. It's like a hidden compartment. So that opens up. I cleaned this part out. There's still a little bit more in there I've got to clean. But so there's that part right there, like you could lay some action figures down. Then here, this is like a chessboard that they played with in the movie. So that just comes out like that, and that's in pretty good shape. So the cardboard back here that has all like the little gadgets and stuff, all that's intact and clean. But the thing I was most curious about, because this will really increase the value, is whether or not the battle sound works. And so what you've got to do here is you've got to open up the side of this, and it has a spot for 2 C batteries. And you can see here, your first indication that you're probably in good shape is that the battery terminals here are, still have that nice, coppery look to it. They're not corroded or anything like that. That's because there were no batteries in there when I opened it up. It tells you right here on the bottom which side the leads need to go on. And what happens is when you put the batteries in there, if it works, you press this little button here, and on the other side of this, which you can't see unless you took it apart in ways you're not supposed to, there's a spinning mechanism that makes like a spinning noise. So what we have to do is put the batteries in here to check if it's gonna work. So that is our negative side right here, and a positive comes out right here. So I'm just gonna close it like this, and this is the part we've got to press to hear if it's gonna make the battle noise. There we go. That little noise equals a lot more money when I try to sell this, because people want working toys, working vintage toys. And just to give you a close-up, if you didn't see this, this is the date here by Kenner, 1979. That's when they came out with this, so after the first movie, so people could play with the ship. So you can see that right over there. So, so far, so good. I found a couple other things when I looked in there. I found we've got Obi-Wan Kenobi, and this is Princess Leia, so we've got them. And then there's this bag of toys. Now, I'm gonna keep these things separate, and these like little accessories and stuff. Although, I did find like another gun that goes with this. I did find the satellite dish that goes on the outside as well. So a lot of the things are there. We've got landing gear here on the bottom. We've got two little feet that come out that help keep the ship stable. So all that is still there. This is, this is so far looking pretty good. I mean, there's a couple like sticker pieces and stuff that fell off, but they're just, the glue just kind of wore down over time. So I could always include that. I wouldn't throw that out. Just, let people know that if they want it, they could just glue it back on themselves. So you can see it's coming along pretty good so far. I'm gonna keep working on it. I think I'm gonna start watching that movie now, then come back later, finish it up before the end of the night, and actually hopefully get this up and get this listed. Okay, so while for the vast majority of this cleaning project, we could get things done with just a wet rag and just either taking broad strokes like this, or just bunching it up to get down these little strips here, these little raised strips. There's gonna be some parts that are really difficult to get with the rag. So like they may be like some little parts in like these little corners like here. So what I would suggest doing for that is just take a toothbrush that obviously is not one you're gonna use to brush your teeth ever again with, and just dip it in some water like here, like in the bucket or whatever, and then just take it and take some nice, just soft, light strokes right inside of that little nook area like this, and that will just get that stuff right out of there. So you just, the bristles could just get right in there really easily, and there you go, it just wipes it down. And then you just have your, your other cloth here for drying. And so, you could even see, you might have even seen there like a discolored area of like water just went down there like that. But that's how you get like those little spots out. So for some of this, I am going to use this little toothbrush here. And again, you don't want to go like super hard and going like up and down, because then you could potentially scratch it. But like, for these little parts that like there's like some little dirt in between like these little rectangles here, just going right in here like that. Again, it's just like brushing teeth, just nice and light like that, gets it right out, and then just wipe it right down like that. So probably the next time that I have this turned on, I'm gonna show you the finished version of it. I just wanted to make sure you knew all the different little tips and tricks that I used. I mean, it's nothing that really requires any kind of a genius or anything like that. I mean, you're just using a toothbrush, rag, water, soap. It's very simple, but that's kind of the point of the video. Just a simple little thing like this could clean up a toy like this and make it look much more presentable for much higher profits. Another thing just to tell you that the toothbrush is good for is getting into these little pit areas. Like this is one I started working on, and this is one that I haven't worked on yet. So you could see the difference, just the toothbrush just able to just go down there and just get all that stuff out right there. And then you just, dry it out again with just, using a dry rag. So this is really a helpful little tool to have. Okay, so the movie is over and I'm just doing a few little touch-ups, and one other point that I wanted to make sure I passed on is that once in a while you're gonna come across some darker yellowy, maybe orange, brown slash kind of stains that aren't really surface stains that you could really easily wipe off. They're kind of embedded into the plastic a little bit. And you know, examples of that would be right here inside of this little kind of hidden area. You could see here there's some yellow stains right there. I'll kind of move that a little closer so maybe you could see it better. And what I like to do for those, there's lots of solutions that you could use, but a simple thing is just take an alcohol prep pad, you know, like something like this that you'd find in a first aid kit. Just tear it open and just wipe it back and forth on the area like that. Just, you know, rub it on the area where there's a stain. Now, it's not gonna necessarily like immediately wipe off, although sometimes it will. But then what you do right after that is you just go back in with like the toothbrush or the rag or whatever, and you wipe it down. And that will usually take a lot of it off, if not all of it off. And you know, you might have to go back and forth and try that like a couple of times, and then just, you know, dry it off. And you know, if you go back earlier and you look in the video, you could see there were a lot of yellow stains that were in here that now are not there, partly because of using that little alcohol prep pad helps take some of that out. So just wanted to pass that on. If you know of other tips for removing you know, yellow stains like that in plastic, you know, you could feel free to leave that down in the comment section. As you could see, we're all done. It really came out nice. I'm gonna give you an overhead view of it and show you those inner components, and then we'll wrap up. Okay, so here it is, and if you remember from before, if you just rewind to the beginning of the video, this whole part was just really, really disgusting looking, you know, just brown and sticky and yellowish, and now that is just all gone. This is really gonna look very nice and presentable when I put those photos up later on tonight or maybe tomorrow morning. This here was mildly dirty. Inside really looks nice now. Look at that. It's just really nice and clean. Just got all those little, you know, creases, nooks and crannies, all those little spots out of there. Just really looks really good. You know, I've got all of the little component parts that need to set in there. So I'll set that stuff up, some stuff inside and some parts like the turret gun outside. I'll set that all up for the photos. I did finally look inside this bag, which I showed in the initial video, and you could see here we've got all the original weapons that go with the action figures. Like, just individually, some of these sell for crazy amounts of money, and it's going to be fun to match these up with the actual figures that I have in that Darth Vader case, so that's really cool. And then I have these pieces here, which I'm not sure what these go to. If you're a real Star Wars buff and really know these toys inside and out and know what these pieces go to, let me know that down below in the comments. They're blue and looks like kind of orangey reddish. So if you know that, again, just let me know. And just to show you underneath this floor, this hidden compartment here, that came out pretty good as well. There's a little slight yellowing that's left over and residual, but overall, I'm very happy with how this all came out. And just for completeness sake, here's the bottom of it. As you know, there wasn't really much I had to do to it, just a few minor areas that I had to touch up, but you know, overall, this part was really good right from the outset. All right, everyone. Well, it really was as simple as that. Doesn't always have to take a lot of time. It doesn't have to turn always into an enormous project to do this type of cleaning and restoration work on items like this. So if you're out there, again, if you see items that, and it doesn't even have to be toys, it could be anything that has some dirt on it, has some grime on it, has some stains on it. Sometimes you can get that type of stuff out, especially if it's on plastic. So there's a lot of different options that are out there, even beyond the ones that I showed you. But at its simplest, just soap and water, little rubbing alcohol, rag, toothbrush. I mean, really, those are the basic elements that you need, and that could add so much more value to your item. And you know, this is one of the things that I love about reselling, by the way, is finding items like this that are no longer in their original state and putting some work into it, cleaning them up and getting them close to or back to that original state so that I could then get it in the hands of somebody who wants it, either to just have it for collectible purposes or to have it for nostalgia purposes, or maybe a combination of the two. And now it's time to go and take some pictures of this and get this bad boy listed. That's gonna be a lot of fun as well. If you didn't get to see me source this item, remember at the very end of this video, on the top, there's gonna be a little caption that's gonna bring you to the original find where I found this along with all those other Star Wars toys in the box. So that's a really fun video with me going back behind that crawl space if you never saw it. So go check that one out. And then if you like those, go check out all my other haul videos. I have a playlist that just goes through tons of haul videos like this where I go out and I do all this treasure hunting and find all these things. So if you like the video, make sure that you hit the like button, give it a big thumbs up, make sure that you subscribe as well, and come to my Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center. The link to that is down below, along with my Instagram account. That's @prime_time_treasure. I'll see you all at the next video, everyone. Take care.